"No, they're for you, Stig," said Barney. "You can keep them." Stig put them carefully in a niche in the wall and then seemed to look about for something to give Barney in exchange. He picked up 2 or 3 of his precious umbrella bones and offered them to Barney. But Barney pushed them away. "No, thank you. I don't think I want bits of umbrella," he said, and Stig looked quite relieved. He didn't really want to part with them. He went to a pile of metal things and came back with a brass bedstead knob and offered it to Barney. Still, Barney shook his head, hoping that Stig would not be offended if he kept on refusing things. He had his eye on a pile of skins in the corner, and Stig seemed to notice this, for he went across to it and picked it up, a sort of apron of rabbit skins stitched together, just like what he usually wore himself. Barney's face lit up. "Can I have that, Stig?" "Oh, thank you." And he took the skins under his arm. There were a lot more skins in the pile. Barney squatted down and turned them over. There were mole skins and squirrel skins, things that looked like cat skins, and they made Barney wonder how they got there. Then he gave a gasp of surprise. Near the bottom was the skin of a great animal, head and all, and it was golden and spotted with black. A leopard! Barney dragged it out and goggled at it. "Gosh, Stig, did you kill this?" he asked. Stig looked at him. Barney made spear movements at the skin, put a questioning expression on his face, and pointed to Stig. Stig grinned, shrugged his shoulders. He seemed to be willing that Barney should think he had killed a leopard, but Barney was rather suspicious. He'd seen leopard skins like this, worn by soldiers in military bands, and he had seen them on the floors of people's houses. Perhaps someone had just thrown this one away. It was amazing what people did throw away. You only had to look around the dump, and in Stig's cave, to see that sometimes they were quite valuable. Anyhow, there was the leopard skin, and Lou wanted to go to the party as a leopard. Or was it a puma? She ought to be quite satisfied with a leopard anyway. There were only a few patches where the hair was falling out, but would Stig want to part with it? Barney felt in his pocket. He had only spent 2 marbles so far, and he had quite a lot more. He took out 2 more and held them out to Stig and pointed to the leopard skin. Stig looked at the marbles, looked at the skins, and looked very doubtful. Barney added another marble to the 2 in his hand. Stig still looked doubtful. Barney took 2 more marbles from his pocket. Now there were 5. Suddenly, Stig seemed to understand that Barney had quite a pocket full of marbles to spend. He held out both hands to Barney with all the fingers spread. 10? A leopard skin cost 10 marbles, thought Barney. He hoped he had that many. He put the first 5 marbles on the ground and counted out what he had left in his pocket. 6, 7, 8, 9... There were 3 more. "Here, you might as well have them all," said Barney, and handed over all 12. Stig had been checking the marbles on his fingers while Barney counted. When he found he had more marbles than fingers, he was so delighted that he went to another corner of the cave and came back with a stone axe on a wooden handle and gave it to Barney with the skin. "Golly, Stig, can I have that as well?" exclaimed Barney. He was delighted too. "Oh, Stig, you are kind to let me have all of these things. Thank you. Thank you. I've got to go now, Stig, and show Lou what we've got. We'll be able to go to the fancy dress party now. Goodbye." And Barney danced out, clutching the 2 bundles of skins and the stone axe. When he got back to the house, he had an idea. He took the bundles quietly to his own room, undressed except for his underclothes, and after some struggles with a couple of safety pins, got himself dressed in the rabbit skins. He looked at himself in the mirror and scowled fiercely. But there was something missing. Bother! He had had a haircut only 2 weeks ago, and he didn't have nearly enough hair. He had another idea. He crept downstairs to the broom cupboard and took the head off a mop. When he tried it on his own head in front of the mirror, it looked just right. He found a way of tying it under his chin so that it stayed there. He took his axe in one hand and the leopard skin in the other and crept along the passage to his sister's room. As he expected, she was still lying on her bed with a book. He gave a whoop and charged in the room with his axe. Whoop, whoop! Lou jumped like a startled cat and faced Barney furiously. "You're not to frighten people like that when they're not expecting it," she said angrily. "I knew it was you, Barney." "Oh, no, you didn't," chuckled Barney. "Anyhow, I'm not Barney. I'm Stig, Stig's brother, and he did a war dance around the bedroom." "Where have you been?" asked Lou more calmly. "Me? Me been hunting," said Barney. "Look what I killed." And he threw the leopard skin on the floor. Lou's eyes nearly popped out of her head. "Golly, Barney, where did you get that?" she said. "Killed it in the woods," boasted Barney. No, tell me honestly, Barney, please." "Well, I didn't really kill it. I was just pretending," said Barney. "I got it from Stig." "Oh, Stig," scoffed Lou. "You and your Stig. You mean you found it in the dump?" I got it from Stig, I tell you," repeated Barney, "and you owe me 12 marbles. You needn't have it if you don't want it." And he snatched it away. No, please, Barney, please, let me have it. It's a lovely leopard skin, and I'll get some marbles next time we go into town. Come on, help me try it on." Between them, with the help of pins and strings, they managed to dress Lou in the leopard skin. Bare patches hardly showed, and it didn't really smell any more than a real leopard would. And once Lou was inside the skin, she became more like a big cat than any leopard ever had. She wrinkled up her nose and spat. She slunk and clawed. They hunted each other in and out of the bedrooms and along the passages, and then Lou said, "Pretend I'm a tame leopard and you're my master, and we live in this cave." And they crept under Lou's bed and curled up. Barney said, "Look, Lou, about this party on Wednesday, I know where the house is, just through the woods. We needn't even ask Granny to take us. We'll just go." One or two stars had come out in the dark blue sky overhead, and there was a golden wash of sunset in the west. Above the dark woods, a blackbird was trying out his new spring voice from an elm tree. It had been the first mild, dry day of spring, and the air was beginning to feel alive, with the earth warming up, and buds opening, and things creeping out of their winter beds. A leopard and a Stone Age hunter, as they left themselves quietly out of the back door, felt they couldn't possibly have stayed indoors any longer without bursting. The leopard dropped to hands and feet as soon as it reached the lawn, but the hunter said, "Oh, come on, Lou, we'll be late if you're going to crawl the whole way." "I can go just as fast like this," said the leopard, and went bounding off towards the back gate. As they let themselves into the paddock, Flash the pony pricked up his ears, snorted, and went careering round the paddock in alarm and excitement. "Silly old Flash," called the leopard. It's only me." "I thought you were a leopard," said Barney. So did Flash. No wonder he's frightened. They made their way along the darkening tracks and footpaths. Sometimes the leopard would go ahead and leap out from behind a bush at the hunter. Sometimes the hunter would run on and lie in wait for the leopard. One time, when Barney was lying in ambush behind a hollow beech stump, Lou crept up behind him and jumped on him instead of coming along the path and being jumped on. Barney was cross. "That's not fair," he complained. "It's my turn to do you." But Lou only laughed in a catty sort of way and went bouncing off ahead again. Barney sat down rather sulkily and let her go on. He should have had another turn, he thought. He heard Lou's footsteps dying away along the track, and then suddenly there was the snarl and roar she usually gave when she was ambushed. It sounded rather astonished this time. Then he heard Lou's voice. "Barney, it was my turn for an ambush. But how did you get ahead so quickly?" But he hadn't gone ahead. He was sitting here. Who was Lou talking to? And what was going on? He got up and ran along the path between the dark thickets. He found Lou a good distance ahead, crouching down and panting. "God, you did make me jump that time," said Lou. "I wasn't expecting you. How did you get there so soon?"